Today is my first day in the Philippines, streaming. And since I'm in the Philippines, I feel like it was a good idea to get informed on the urban legends and scary stuff. So I'm watching a top 10 video called Top 10 Scary Urban Legends from the Philippines that are pure evil. So yeah, let's check it out. And it is also very late. Very late. It's very late. So let's check it out.
For thousands of years, people in every walk of life have been telling tales of terrifying creatures that walk among us.
Pulling up chat on
And
my
out
phone.
of all of the scary folklore creatures or ghostly rumors I have read about, some of the most bone-chilling have come from the Philippines. Welcome back, most amazing friends. I'm your host, Kennedy, and I hope
Kennedy.
you brought some holy water, because today we're counting down
Dang,
the
is it that
top
bad?
10 scary urban legends from the Philippines that are pure evil. Let's
Pure
get into
evil.
it. Starting us off at number 10 is the White Lady of Balete Drive. In
Balete
Quezon
Drive.
City, there's an avenue named after the row of trees that used to line it. Although they are now gone,
Ugh.
in Filipino culture, it is believed that Balete trees are inhabited by mystical beings and other supernatural creatures, and despite their removal from the area, it is rumored to remain just as haunted as the day they were planted. There are few variations of the legend, but the most popular
So what does
is
it
that
do?
there was once a woman who died after being hit by a taxi along the Balete-lined road late at night, and whoever hit her was never caught. Since then, it's said she haunts the roads,
Nah.
scaring unsuspecting taxi drivers who dare
Hold
trespass
on.
alone. Some say she might even appear to be lost and wait for a taxi to pull over so she can come inside and terrify the driver by revealing her true form.
Just how to make sure there's nothing down there.
Covered in blood and bruises.
How to
However,
make sure.
others say sometimes she will just disappear out of thin air. Many have believed the tale, including a police officer and captain of the QCPD, who was eventually suspended for cowardice after he refused to patrol the area after a rise in incidents. Allegedly, each accident claimed that a woman in white was what had caused the issue, and so the
Bro does not want to
officer
smoke.
refused to
That's
investigate,
understandable.
fearing he too would become haunted by the White Lady of Balete Drive. Next up at number 9 is Death by Slippers.
Death by
I've heard
Slippers.
some
What does that
crazy
mean?
urban legends in my day, and this one might just be the most out there. Apparently, there's an urban legend in the Philippines that states you must bring your slippers inside the house at night. Why is that, I'm sure you're wondering? Well, according to the legend, anyone who forgets to bring their slippers in at night will be visited by a dangerous cult that takes the slippers and kills the owner. Apparently, each night,
I left my slippers outside. I left my slippers outside. Hold on. But they're my like clogs. Like they're not Birkenstocks, but it's the same thing. What are those called? The clogs. Like they look like, you know what I mean. Are those slippers? I wear those everywhere. It's not like slippers that like I wear inside. So I'm not sure if that counts. I'm not sure if that counts, bro. Let's continue.
a group of Satanists roam the streets looking for victims to sacrifice to their evil overlord, and apparently the only
Oh,
thing you have
thongs.
to do to
No,
protect
I don't use
yourself
thongs.
from being their next victim is bring your shoes inside at the end of the day. Okay, listen, I'm not saying it couldn't be real, but I am saying this sounds a lot like something a really tired parent might say to make sure that their kids didn't leave all their stuff lying around
That is
outside.
true.
Either way, if I am ever in the Philippines, you best believe I'll be bringing my slippers inside, because I'm not about to tempt fate and
Okay.
accidentally get killed by an evil Satanist.
Let's test it.
Next up at number 8, the Tikbalang. Said to lurk in the
Tikbalang.
mountains and rainforests of the Philippines,
Like he built like
the
me.
Tikbalang is a tall, bony, humanoid creature with the head and hooves of a horse. To me, it kind of resembles a
Do they have fingers?
werewolf meets centaur, which is just straight up terrifying. Although legends differ from region to region. In the north,
Region to
it most
region.
commonly enjoys pranking travelers and making them hallucinate so that they get lost along the path. But in the south, its origins are
They get
much
killed.
darker. Down south, stories of the Tikbalang speak of an evil, red-eyed demon horse prone to fits of rage and continuously puffing on a cigar. It's said to be the result
A
of a
cigar.
soul that did not make it out of the womb. Without having ever existed on the earthly plane in human form, it now haunts this realm, preying on the living as revenge. According to the myth, however, all you need to do to defeat this terrifying demon horse is pluck 3 hairs from its mane, taming the creature and making it indebted to you forever.
Is that
or
it?
just hope you come across one in the north, I guess. Next up at number 7, the
Number 7.
Matriculan. These terrifying creatures are kind of like the sick and twisted
Yeah.
version of the Immaculate Conception.
I don't know what
As
that
legend
is.
has it,
What is
at
Immaculate
night,
Conception?
when everyone is asleep, they will sneak into the room of a virgin woman and impregnate her without her knowing. Apparently, the ghoul is invisible to the human eye, so there's no way to protect against their devilish advances. Then, after a few months inside, the monster will
freaks made
return
this.
to take what he gave to the woman, but first killing her and then consuming the life that was growing inside of her. There are also some versions where the Matriculan will prey on already pregnant women, and in this case, it's believed that the husband can protect his wife from getting a visit from the creature by swinging a butterfly knife, or balisang, over her stomach
butterfly
during
knife? Are you
labor.
serious?
I mean, from top to bottom,
This
this
ain't
entire
CS:GO,
legend
bro.
is incredibly dark, and I'm just praying that there is no chance they exist in real life. Next up,
I don't
at
think they're
number
real.
6 is the Chanak. It's
Yeah.
very common in many
Yeah.
cultures and religions for new lives to be baptized, mainly because it signifies the young person as
It's
being
like
a part
Chucky.
of the Christian
Ew.
faith, and it symbolizes a life in devotion to Jesus
Ew,
Christ.
bro.
And while some cultures believe it's not necessary to be baptized in order to get into heaven, it's definitely the preferred method. But due to the Spanish colonization in the Philippines in the 16th century, their version is a bit more intense. As the story goes, many believe that any souls who are not baptized by the Catholic Church in their early years go into a state of limbo after death and will return to earth as evil spirits. These spirits are called the Chanak and are said to lure their prey deep into the woods, tricking them by shape-shifting to look like a little one abandoned and crying. Once they are picked up and have the victims right where they want them, the vampiric creatures will morph back into their true devilish form and attack. The only way to save yourself is either turn your clothes on inside out in hopes that the Chanak will be amused and set you free of the enchantment. That or some garlic and a rosary can also do the trick.
Is that all it takes? Garlic.
Coming in at number 5.
Ew, bro. Ew, if a little crazy baby, I'm punting that. I'm actually punting that baby, bro. Like, but I'm gonna need to do it carefully, because if it's running at me with its mouth open, I don't want to, like, because, like, bro, I don't know what diseases it has. If I kick it in the face, I'll probably smash in its teeth. But then also, I might get cut up or stabbed by its teeth doing that. So,
Mamba Barang. A terrifying Filipino folklore witch, the Mamba Barang uses their powers to get revenge on those they feel have either wronged them or those who they are envious of. As legend has it, the Mamba Barang will use their evil powers.
bro, this is the problem about this one right here. Like, I was like, okay, obviously, you know, I haven't wronged them because I don't know any of these people or like what they are, but the other one is they envy you. You've got no. That's the one that's like, dang, like a little bit tricky. You don't know. Like, you've got no control over it, bro. Like, you're just doing you, and she happens to envy you. Like, she might even be me. Maybe she's like, oh, he's so young, he looks happy. She's envious. Wait, I'm effing chat.
In order to conjure spirits and manipulate insects to enter the body of any person they choose, most often through voodoo rituals. What is scary about the Mamba Barang is that they're not some evil demon or mythical creature, but just some ordinary human woman who practices black magic, and once they decide to conjure a spell on you, there is not much of anything that can be done to stop it. Once the ritual has been completed, she will instruct the insects who it is they are to infect best, and
Bro,
then
I'm actually tripping. I
climb
thought I saw
inside the
something.
body using any orifice required. There's often pain at the site of entry,
I'm
for
bugging right
example, an
now.
intense earache if they go through the ear, or even hemorrhoids if they use the south door. But these are not like other diseases. They will resist all known treatment. In fact, there are no known
Oh,
medicines or
I'm
cures
bugging.
for any of the afflictions caused by the witch. The only way to be freed of the torment is to hope that the witch allows the infestation of bugs to leave your body. Otherwise, you're fresh out of luck. In most cases, the torture will continue until it takes your life, and only then will the horde of bugs evacuate your body. Coming in at number
Ugh.
4, the Amalane. Said to be the Filipino
Yeah.
version of a half-zombie, half-vampire, the Amalane is an undead demon that is believed to not have transferred its power
That's
to a
cat.
relative during their time of death. This results in the demon's rise
That's cat, bro. A giant demon like that? That is cat.
from their graves so that they can lurk in the woods, feasting on the blood of the nearby villagers. Their preferred method of attack is usually believed to be through biting the neck, since, you know, vampires and all. However, there are some versions of the legend that state they will tickle the victim to death while simultaneously absorbing their life force. I mean, if I had to pick a way to
That's
go,
some
this
dookie
sounds better
stuff,
than
bro.
being stabbed and left to slowly bleed out. No? Well, I do also hate being tickled, so I don't know, maybe not. It all really depends on how long it would take for me to be drained of all my life force, I guess. The good news is that you can escape them should you ever find yourself face to face with these demons. It's advised that you climb up a tree or jump into the closest body
Well, I'm
of
just checking
water,
the
as they're
stream.
unable to climb and they have a great fear of water as it will turn them into a pile of worms. Next up at
Is that
number
a
3, the
water?
Manananggal. Said to
Modern
be a
angle.
vicious, flesh-eating, blood-sucking demon, the Manananggal is definitely one of the creepiest urban legends I've ever heard of. In their true form, they're described as being hideous women who have the ability to sever their body into two, something that they must apparently do in order to feed. When they detach their torso from their lower half, they become vulnerable, so they must hide their lower half to keep themselves from being attacked. They then grow wings so that they can fly around looking for
Ew.
their next victim. The Manananggal
I'm
tends to
so
prey on
tired.
men, first shapeshifting to look like a beautiful woman so that they can seduce them before luring them into a secluded area, tearing them
I'm not
apart
getting
and
seduced.
sucking out all of their internal organs with their long tongue. The only way to defeat the ghoulish creature is to wait until her body is severed, as the lower half remains motionless and vulnerable. Once you find the lower half, sprinkle either
Jeez, I'm
salt or
tripping.
crushed garlic onto the
So,
creature, and the demon will be unable to join back into one entity. Then just sit back and wait until sunrise, as once the sun hits the
this is
separate
cat, bro. There's
torso,
no
she
way.
will be destroyed. Coming in at number 2, the Aswang. This one might be the most famous of the urban legends, but to be fair, it's for good reason, because it
Ew.
is just about the most terrifying thing I have ever read about. Supposedly a flesh-eating, shape-shifting, vampire-like creature, what's truly terrifying
Uh, Bro, obviously these are urban legends. Like, you know, these goes on, like, these stories go on for, like, years and years, like, decades, hundreds of years. And, like, especially these days, you know? And, like, with like, same as, like, Bigfoot. Why are, like, all the sightings just have to be the worst camera quality ever? Seriously.
about the Aswang is that you never know who around you could be one. As the legend goes, during the day they appear to be just like us
Who, so what? It's a flippin' shapeshifter.
humans, blending in with the world and working normal jobs. But at night, they transform into flesh-eating, blood-sucking horror film creatures who unleash their predatory instincts, actively hunting the most vulnerable in the community. The creatures are said to have long tongues and backwards feet, and are apparently so thin
Backwards
and
feet.
frail they can hide behind a single piece of bamboo. But don't be fooled by their
Ah.
small frame, as if they attack, there is no saving you. What's scariest about them, though, is their
What?
ability to transform the appearance of other objects, too. In order to avoid suspicion, they are known to use plant matter to create a doppelganger of their victim's corpse in order to hide their feeding habits and fool the locals into thinking they died of another cause. The only way to repel the dreadful creature is with garlic or religious artifacts,
What's up
particularly
with
used
garlic?
against them during the day,
Bruh,
as they
I'm
are
like
weakest
dozing
in their
off,
human
bro.
form. Then then once you have them at their weakest, you can kill the monster by decapitating it. And last up in our number
What's
one
the last
spot,
one?
Encantos. Often associated with the spirits of ancestors in the
Encantos.
Philippines, Encantos are kind of a catch-all term for a few different mythical
That looks
creatures,
like a
but
Lord of
are
the Rings
most
fact
commonly linked to fairies. Now, if you have only ever
character.
watched
What am
animated
I saying?
fairies from your favorite childhood shows your whole life, and you're wondering what the heck these creatures are doing on a scary list, well, then my friend, you have got to learn a little bit more about fae and the terrifying things they are capable of. When it comes to Encantos in particular, their motives are almost backwards to many other ghouls, as if they don't like you, they are rumored to inflict deadly disease, mental illness, or even gain complete possession of their human target. But if they
Ew.
become
No, I'm
smitten
actually
with a
tripping, bro.
human,
What time
they
is
will
it for me?
sometimes opt to bring them good luck, or they
1:45.
might just kidnap you and bring them into their realm forever. It said you can try to ward them off by carrying a magical charm or an amulet, but once they have their sights set on you, either good or bad, it is hard to keep them away forever. Although the mythical belief in the Encantos may have originated as folklore, it has also been theorized that the fair-skinned fairies were actually created as a metaphor for the Spanish friars who colonized the Philippines, often abducting and taking advantage of the young Filipino women in the woods. So,
No,
considering they're
bro.
based off of real people, you don't get much scarier than that. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Man, I didn't get really scared, bro.